Dragon Adventures is in kind of a weird situation right now. It's mainly known for its extensive trading system, beautiful dragons, and mild financial trauma. Some say it's one of the better RPG games on Roblox, and others say it's on the verge of becoming just another cash grab simulator. My name is Lowercase, and welcome to episode 1 of Just One More Game, a series where I play and review Roblox games so you can decide whether to skip or click. Since this is the first episode of the series, let's lay down some ground rules. We'll go over gameplay, visuals, style, and graphics, monetization, progression and replayability, originality, how active the community is, and how addictive the game can be. We'll tally all these scores up for the core meter rating. How do the scores stack up on a scale of S through F, with S being the best and F being the worst? I'll also give my personal rating on the game on the same scale. Now that that's settled, let's get into it. I'm going to start things off by saying DA is not exactly a game with a lot of depth, but it's not another running simulator either. I think it's kind of an in-between situation. There's multiple mechanics in the game that make it a bit more playable, like minigames when you go to collect eggs and fish, but when the core mechanics are as basic as they get, the game gets stale. I guess this can be attributed to DA not exactly being gameplay focused. It's more of a collector's game. I feel like the point of the game is just to collect as many dragons, accessories, and potions as possible, and gameplay is just a secondary, minor feature that's meant to ease how harsh the in-game economy and trading world is. Some of the game mechanics, such as Dragonflight, feel really good and polished, but others, like resource collection and Dragon Breath, just to name a few, feel really lackluster. The Dragon Breath itself is a little bit janky because sometimes you miss enemies that look to be visually being hit by the breath, but they are not taking any damage at all. Also, the bosses and mobs are beyond basic, and the bosses are just reskins of each other. They all follow the same basic pattern where you just beam them down in first phase, they put up a shield and summon little mobs until you whittle their bar down, and then they get the added capability to stun you in their third phase, but have literally no other changes from their first phase. There's also not exactly a way to dodge or evade attacks, which kinda sucks. You just have to tank everything, which makes bosses and mobs a little more difficult to fight if you want to use a dragon that's not exactly really healthy or strong. Other game mechanics like farming, fishing, resource gathering, and egg hatching are pretty basic, so there's not much to go over in that regard. But if you do want a more in-depth video of the game mechanics, let me know in the comments and I can definitely do something longer and more extensive. Because of these factors, Dragon Adventures gets a 5.5 out of 10 in the gameplay category. It's not great, but I've seen worse. Now, as for graphics, DA's overall graphical feel is honestly pretty decent. The dragons have really unique and fleshed out designs and have a great overall feel to their models. The world design isn't bad either, with the buildings and environment being really clean. The worlds themselves are quite large, with ample space for exploration, and they're also unique from each other, with little to some asset similarity between them. The worlds feel great to be in and are really fun to explore. When it comes to the enemies and bosses, however, it's clear the devs got a little bit lazy. They've got basic models with only some of the worlds having more detailed mobs, which is really weird, and the enemies don't have any special visual attacks. Every enemy has a melee or ranged attack or both, and as I said earlier, the bosses are just lazy reskins of each other. Overall, Dragon Adventures gets an 8 out of 10 on the visual scale. The reason I said Dragon Adventures is in a bit of a weird situation right now is because of monetization. Game passes exist, but they aren't necessary at all for the game itself, which is a huge plus. Unlike a lot of popular Roblox games, you can play Dragon Adventures without purchasing anything with Robux and still manage to have a good time. The issue is, when you do go to purchase said game passes, they are a bit on the expensive side. The VIP Game Pass, which allows you to equip more dragons and double your XP rate, among other things, is 300 Robux. The Advanced Building Game Pass is 400 Robux. The Game Pass to increase your chances of hatching a rare dragon is 350 Robux. And expanding your inventory by 50% costs 500 Robux. Of course, those prices aren't egregious by any means. Any Game Passes under 500 or even 750 Robux nowadays is considered a steal. That's not where the issue lies, however. In-game, there are packages that you can purchase. For example, coins. the main currency in the game, cost 35 Robux for 2,000 of them. Now, you might say, hey, that's not a bad price. Well, take into account the previously mentioned harsh economy, which causes most popular dragons to cost upwards of 2 million coins. And if 750,000 coins costs 3,750 Robux, well, you get the idea. There are other packages in the game that exist where you can buy specific dragons that come with other things like accessories and potions for Robux. During the production of this video, the Easter 2025 event is going on, with the Silverstrass, a developer pack, Honeyhaven, Honeybee, and Easter Special 2 packs being available to buy. The prices for each are as listed: 1,500, 1,599, 499, discounted from 2,935 and 1,099 Robux, respectively. There are also base game packs which are available all the time regardless of what event is going on, which are the Royalty Pack for 1,800 Robux, the Druid Pack for 1,800 Robux, and the Warrior Pack for 1,800 Robux as well. There also exists a Customizer Pack for 1,000, a Splicer Pack for 1,000, and a Purist Pack for 1,000. Now, I'm sure you're noticing a trend here. All of these packs are over 1,000 Robux, with some of them being 1,500 or more. The developer packs come with bundle exclusive dragons, accessories, and potions, while the other packs include items that are available through normal in-game means and don't take more than an hour or so to collect. Such packs might be appealing to newer, lesser knowledgeable players, which might cause them to waste a crap ton of money on stuff they can just get in-game. Not to mention, developer pack items can just be traded for as well, so there's not really a reason to be buying these packs, especially if they're so expensive. If we delve into specifics, there's a quality of life pack currently available that lets you carry more keys for the Easter 2025 event. Basically how it works is that you need keys to open egg chests, which give you the eggs specific to this event. You need 4 keys to open a regular egg chest and 5 keys to open the snail egg chest, which is kind of crazy considering you can only hold 1 key at a time, and oftentimes you end up having to travel almost the whole map just to deliver the key from the location you got it to the egg chest itself. This quality of life pack is 399 Robux and only allows you to carry 2 keys at once. Not only that, but the Game Pass itself doesn't even list how many keys you can carry. Kind of a scam if you ask me. Since all these Game Passes and packages aren't exactly required to play the game, that boosts DA's rating here a bit more. But everything's still a bit expensive, and the Game Passes are constantly in your face with pop-ups and flashing icons on the side of the GUI. Because of that, I'm giving Dragon Adventures a 6.5 out of 10 on the monetization category. If they bump those prices down, I would 100% consider upping that rating. Now, as I said earlier, since DA is not exactly a game focused on its gameplay and mechanics, the progression aspect is not all there. As I explained earlier, I feel like the main point of the game is just to collect as much as possible, or collect whatever it is that you really want. As I said earlier as well, more popular dragons tend to be extremely expensive in terms of in-game currency, and if you want to be able to reach those levels of wealth, you need to be willing to put in hours upon hours of laborious AFKing at your farm and collecting plants. Or you could make a living off of flipping dragons, but that's a little bit riskier and not as common. The progression isn't really kind to newer players or even casual players, as you need to know some crazy specific methods to be able to get rich if you don't want to spend 3 whole months farming coins to get your favorite dragon. For that reason, Dragon Adventures lacks significantly in the progression aspect. In terms of replayability, as I mentioned earlier, the game tends to get stale, and it's extremely difficult for those with bad attention spans, such as myself, to play the game for more than 5 minutes without a video or something else running in the background. The core gameplay loop is super basic and gets boring extremely quickly, so because of that, Dragon Adventures gets a 4 out of 10 in the progression and replayability aspect. The game idea itself isn't that original. I mean, it's a dragon simulator game where you run around collecting eggs to hatch, and it's got farming and fishing mechanics. Of course, there's also events that provide event-specific dragons. What's different is how all these mechanics are executed though, which is entirely unique to the game, even if the execution of the mechanics is very basic. Also, the dragon models are all unique and really original, so Dragon Adventures earns a solid 8 out of 10 on the originality scale. The Dragon Adventures community isn't that small, with around 15,000 active players at the time of making this video, and the Discord server having around 200,000 people in it at the moment. The community is rather active, and might I add, extremely helpful and kind, which is a huge plus for any game community. The community itself is also very active, and they discuss a variety of topics that don't actually pertain to the game itself, which is great if you don't want to listen to the same stuff about the economy and trading being repeated over and over again. The community feels that the game is good, but they believe the devs are forcing the game deeper and deeper into a pay-to-play type of game, which isn't great. And honestly, I believe the same thing. But since the community is so large and they're rather active, Dragon Adventures earns a beefy 9 out of 10 on the alive or offline scale. In terms of addiction, this game can be very addicting. I fell back into the grind of spending hours and hours playing the Easter event because something about hatching a rare dragon after grinding for so long is so addicting. It's almost like a gacha game, but it's not entirely pay to win, if you get what I mean. There's such a rush you get from acquiring rare dragons and going through with a difficult trade or buying a dragon that you've been looking to get for so long, which earns Dragon Adventures a phenomenal 10 out of 10 on the Brainrot Potential scale. Alright, we've discussed every rating category of the game. Tallying up the points gets Dragon Adventures a 7.3 out of 10, putting it at a B tier on the core meter scale. It's fun. It's got some flaws, but it's fun. However, I would put Dragon Adventures at a C tier. Why do I rate it so low? Well, don't get me wrong, I love the game. It's enjoyable when you reach your goals and get your achievements, but the direction that the game is progressing in is not good at all. The devs are unfortunately getting more and more greedy, and the in-game economy is on a really big downhill trend. If you want to get into this game, I suggest you do it now, but just as a warning, there's an extremely high chance that this game dies in the next several months. Stuff's getting more expensive, in-game and Game Pass Robux wise, and a lot of players are starting to drop it because of the massive gap emerging in the in-game economy. Depending on the next few updates, I myself might become one of those players. I sincerely hope that the devs see the fault in their actions and they can bring the game back from where it is right now. Thanks for watching the video, and if you don't mind, leave a like for the YouTube algorithm and consider subscribing so you don't miss future installments of Just One More Game. If you've got suggestions for the next game I should play or have thoughts on the game we reviewed today, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I would love to read them. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.